we're going to be making the M5Stack version of the LNPoS. This is a really nice off-the-shelf device, has a nice form factor, comes with its own charging dock, which you can actually plug in. It's magnetic, so you can stick it on the side of something in your bar and then just pop your POS onto it to charge. It's a little bit more expensive out of the three options. It comes in at about $80. It's a great kit. It's again ESP32 based, and you can make all sorts of things out of it, but it is that a little bit more expensive. In order to be able to get the software onto the hardware itself, we're going to open up the M5Stack part of the project, and you'll need to install the Arduino IDE. So there's installation instructions in the repo. Google Arduino software, then you'll come to this page, download and install it. If you're running a Mac, just try and use Linux or Windows, because you have to install these extra drivers and it's a bit of a pain to set up. There is information about that in the repo, but I really recommend just try and use a Linux or Windows machine. It will just save you a headache. I'm going to assume that you haven't got any Git knowledge. I know some of you can obviously use Git, but I'm just going to literally download the project as a zip. In the actual project file itself here, you'll see this libraries folder, and this actually has all the libraries we need. You can install all of these individually if you want to, but I just package them in the project to make it a little bit easier. And there has been some tweaks as well to the TSPI library, which you would have to do as well if you installed it on your own. But yeah, you can feel free to do what you want. Once it's downloaded, I'm going to open it up, and then this is the folder we want, so I'm going to put that in somewhere on my computer. There we go. Then when that's copied across, you'll see here, these are all the libraries I need. Now we need to put these in our Arduino IDE libraries folder so it can find them. So I'm going to copy those, and then once you've installed the Arduino IDE, this is what you will find, and it can be a bit tricky to find that libraries folder. So this is the way I usually do it, is I go to examples, I go to basics and blink, and the examples are in the core Arduino folder. So if I go to sketch, show sketch folder, it will take me to the root Arduino folder, and I can see here this libraries folder, and that's where I want to paste those libraries. Did I copy? There we are. So they've pasted across there now. So now Arduino can find those. The other thing you're going to need to do is install the ESP32 boards. There's info on that in the repo as well. So if you click on that, it will tell you how to do those instructions here. You basically, you copy this into your preferences in Arduino IDE, then you go to the manager and install ESP32 boards. Once you've done that in your Arduino IDE install, if you go to board, you'll see that there's an ESP32 option. We want to select the M5Stack core ESP32, and then we also we've copied the libraries across, so now we can actually open up the project. So just click on this. Once you've opened it, we're going to upload that onto our device. So I'm just going to plug in my device. Then in the Arduino IDE, select the right board. M5Stack core. There it is. And the port. So the port which is connected to is this one. If you have multiple ports in here, what you can do to make sure you've got the right port is unplug it and then click on port again. Yeah, you can see that the port is connected to is this USB one. So click on that, and then click on upload. We should be ready to roll. Got the right board, got the right port. Now that'll start compiling the project first, and then it's going to upload it onto the device. You'll see here that I've already flashed this device, so there's already options there. While it's compiling, I'll talk a little bit about the actual project itself, shall I? So if you scroll through, it's kind of fairly self-explanatory what everything does. It's quite a big project, so I won't go into great detail, but you got these functions, for example. So this is showing our on-chain part in the screen, in the GUI, and then it's pretty self-explanatory. You can see that I'm not doing anything fishy, so if you want to verify and vet the code, then you can. Oh, okay, compiling. I think we're about to upload. There we are, now we're uploading. It'll take a little second. And then the device itself should boot up. Fantastic, that's what we want. Because the information connecting it to your LNPoS install is saved on the device, even if you flash it, it'll still use the old information on the POS, which is pretty cool. It means you can update it and you don't have to import your details again. In order to get the access ports, we can actually copy details. I think we can unplug this now. It's got power. In order to get the access point up, in order to be able to change these details, we're going to click on that and then click on this button here, and then here we are, the portal has launched. So on the logo screen you have to press that button in order to launch the access point. Now I'm going to try and be clever. Now I'm going to go get the information which I need to actually put on the device itself. So I'm going to go to LNPoS, make myself a wallet. Okay, once I've made the wallet, if I want to have on the device to be online, then I'm going to need the invoice key. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it somewhere safe. There you go. We also want the device to do the LNPoS, which is the offline point of sale. So if we go to manage extensions and then we go to LNPoS device, click on that again, new LNPoS device instance, call that POS, connect it to the LNPoS wallet. Fiat currency, I'm going to use the euro, and I'm not going to rip off my customers by charging a little margin, so I'll put that to 0.2. I'm also going to set up the same extension here. We can set up the ATM, call that, oh goodness me, right, click on that, ATM, connect to that wallet, and euro, where are you? Now this is really useful if you want to sell sats over the counter, or if you just want to give a refund, for example. Now I am going to charge 10% for this service. Right, now if we click on this little orange icon here, we get this thing. You have to click on that, it will copy to your clipboard. And then that is the offline point of sale information. So our point of sale can like store the secret which it will need to encrypt the information which the payer was then going to end up sending to our LNPoS install for us. I'm going to click on the ATM, copy that across. Now you don't need to set up all 4 of these. You could just set up one of them if you wanted to, and if you did, then it wouldn't show a menu on the POS itself. It would just go straight to the default option. Now we want an XPub, so I'm going to go to BIP39 in Coleman to get an XPub. You could get this off your Trezor if you wanted to. The on-chain functionality of the LNPoS is pretty cool. It means that you can generate fresh addresses, but you don't need to access your hardware device or whatever. So it's actually pretty useful for a merchant. And then you can check to see if it's been paid to that address as well, because it will generate a mempool.space link. So we have all the information we need here. Now, if we go back here, you can see the device has the portal launched. So I'm going to connect to that portal. Go to your Wi-Fi and then give it a second. Here we are, can you see the POS there? I'm going to click on that. Now I've already signed into this, so it should, yeah, it's remembered the password, but it will ask you for a password. The password is on the repo. It's to the moon 1, and it's camel case, so capital T's and a capital M. If you wanted to connect it to your Wi-Fi to have the online point of sale, you would go to configure access point, give it a second, and then you would select the Wi-Fi you wanted, and then it would connect to your Wi-Fi. I'm not going to do that now because I haven't got my credentials, so I'm just going to set up the offline point of sale, the offline ATM, and the on-chain bit. So go to POS options. Now we need to copy in those credentials. As I said, I'm not going to use this invoice key actually, because I'm not going to set up the online POS here, so I'm just going to use it as an offline point of sale. So copy that, and where's that? Here we are, LNPoS. Oh right, yeah, of course, yeah, it saved all my information from before, isn't it? So if I select all and paste, it'll replace that. And the next thing we're going to do is the ATM. Okay. If you have your mempool.space server, you could actually put that there as well. And then there's a pin as well. So if you have got the ATM thing set up so you can do refunds or over-the-counter Bitcoin sales, it'll ask you to put a pin in, obviously, before you input the amount in for someone to be able to take money from the POS. And is that it? I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? So you can, I haven't put in the XPub, have I? The new XPub, which I got from the Ian Coleman site. So if I copy that, select all, paste, very nice. You can change the password for the POS at the top there as well, and then just save it. Then you'll see this JSON. That means it's saved successfully. That's the information which is actually saved onto the SP32. Now if we go back to the device and restart it, we should have some payment options. There we go, we've got 3 payment options. As I said, I didn't use the online point of sale because I haven't got my Wi-Fi credentials. But let's have a look. We can scroll through the different options. If you're just using this for one of these options or functions, then it will just default to that. It won't have a menu. If I click on LNPoS, I can just input an amount, generate a payment, LNURL pay, and then when someone's paid it in their wallet, they'll get a PIN, and then the merchant can click on show PIN and it will show the PIN. Okay, so the PIN itself is actually made inside this device, then passed over to the payer through that QR code, and it's all encrypted. So there's no way they can have that PIN unless they paid. Go back to the menu. If I do the on-chain option, it says the XPub ending in this. If I click on address, every time I'll do this, it will generate a fresh address. This is an on-chain address which you can send on-chain funds to. Then if you click on check, it will generate a mempool.space link, which you can actually click on, scan with a regular QR code scanner, and then go and see if the transaction's gone through. As I said, this is really nice if you don't want to have to, dig out your Bitcoin wallet to generate addresses. And then we have the LNURL ATM. This is where I put in my PIN, 878787, and then I can enter an amount. And then if somebody scans this QR code, they'll be able to withdraw those funds. So I can do sats back, or I could do refunds, or I could do over the counter. This would have been super useful in, I ran out of battery. It's only just been plugged in for a little while. That would have been super useful in somewhere like El Salvador, and you've got some dollars and you want to convert them to sats. That'd be a great thing for the merchant to make a little bit of extra money. And that is it. We've taken one of these M5 stacks, we've installed the Arduino IDE, and we've flashed the software onto it, and then we've also set it up as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again. Cheers.